Hello ladies and gentlemen, I am ScreenSceneGuru coming at you with a new video. This is a Halloween stream. Hope you guys are really excited about this video. Got a lot of topics to talk about, so let's get into it. Starting off with the Universal Horror Nights Vogue photo shoot that recently just happened in the last couple days. I do have that up for the thumbnail. We've got a couple more movie notes to go into, so let's get started, alright? So getting into some of our first movie news, got a bit of notes jotted down real quick. So we've got the adult-toned Transformers G.I. Joe crossover has officially been greenlit from Paramount. Very interesting news here, guys. It is sounding like they do want to have a tone similar to Invincible from Amazon. So that's really cool. I'd like to see that. Because, a lot of the G.I. Joe stuff is campy. A lot of the cartoon, campy stuff for Transformers as well. They want to kind of go away from that. We did hear that Grown Up 3 is potentially greenlit, which I really like those Adam Sandler movies. I know they didn't really gross a lot of money at the box office, but after the results of Happy Gilmore 2, and then Jay Kelly is about to come out on Netflix. Looks like Adam Sandler is doing a bit of a renaissance, so that is cool. James Gunn says Man of Tomorrow will have a lot more Lex Luthor in it. Lex Luthor is going to play the predominant character, which is very interesting, with Superman playing a side character. I don't know how well people will like that story. But it plays into future projects, they say, going on. The shifting of power going on with the Ellisons and streaming. The Ellisons actually just had a really big blow to their industry with Taylor Sheridan coming out publicly saying that he has signed a deal with NBC Universal, which is basically Comcast, to start making content for them in 2028. He has to wait another couple years until his Paramount contract ends, but he's already got plans set in motion to go over to another studio and start making projects, predominantly movies, films, which is very interesting. Some global affairs I want to go into real quick. Our president is currently out of the country. He's doing an Asian tour, trying to get trade deals done, a few more things. Global peace plan, which I'm not exactly sure how that's going to work out with him sending warships down to Venezuela. But yeah, very interesting stuff going on around the world. Black Phone 2 earned $26.5 million on its second weekend, so that was pretty good for Black Phone 2. It was a $30 million budget, so it's almost made its money back, the amount it's worth. Tron Ares is already in its second weekend. It made $11.1 million, but it dropped 67%, so not doing too well for the Tron franchise. But none of the Tron movies have really made money, which is kind of interesting. But I do still want to check it out. So yeah, I talked about the Taylor Sheridan deal that's going on. Really big shock and awe to the people in the industry, people in streaming, because Taylor Sheridan has been a predominant force at Paramount for several years, ever since the streaming service got started, and it'll be very interesting to see what they look like once he's gone. Going into a bit of the UAP news, guys, for all you that like to cover that stuff, I will talk about real quick. David Grush has talked for the first time in 2 years, apparently about the harassment he has faced, his family's faced, and other government officials like Jay Stratton were targeted in an adversarial way. They were basically treated like an enemy to their own government after they've served, after they've done their due diligence to come forward to the Attorney General and report this technology. They talk about craft, orbs being seen in their home. They thought they were going crazy. Now people are waiting for David Grush's open op-ed, which he's apparently going to drop very soon, coming out talking about reportable aircraft, other technology that he's seen, first-hand witness. So that's very interesting. Reports are the Three-Eye Atlas in March 2026 going to be closest to Jupiter. So we're already hearing now reports that after December 19th, it's going to continue its trajectory, its course, deeper into our solar system. So a lot of people are speculating, is it going to hit Earth? Is it going to slow down, potentially launch probes? So far, none of our data has, told us anything like that, but there is potential for this black swan event, which aviloeb has been talking about. We have to predict even low probability outcomes. But yeah, very interesting that aviloeb was also talking on the Joe Rogan Experience. You guys should check out that podcast. He talked about how several governments around the world could fund a craft, an ark sort of ship, to preserve a portion of humanity in case something like an asteroid hits Earth or another super virus wipes out a large portion of humanity. He suggests we should have an away craft, something similar to a Quinjet. He even likened it to Marvel. So that's very interesting. Jamaica is in the danger zone as this Category 5 storm hits. I believe it's called Helene or something like that. But it is the strongest category storm to ever hit landfall in the last 100 and so odd years since we've been recording storms. They tried to fly, the National Weather Service storm chasers tried to fly through it again and had to turn away because the eye was too intense. The wind pressures inside were not allowing them to fly their ship through it, and it was a military class jumbo jet ship, so quite big. Winds at 175 miles per hour. And like we said, the government was suggesting that people should take shelter in the biggest buildings possible. So they shouldn't stay in their homes. They should try to find those resorts with the big open lobbies, or these, sometimes they have sporting events where they have a giant stadium. Continuing the show, we got itwelcometoderry, had some really interesting cameos, which I'll go into with, Mike Flanagan, or it was Annie Muschietti, who is the creative behind itwelcometoderry. He also produced the It films, It Chapter 1 and 2. Does look like we got a bit of Batman, the Brave and the Bold, and potentially other cameos. Really Clayface, more of a Clayface cameo in the episode, which was really cool. Nice to see they're finally paying attention to that project. And like I said, references to The Shining, which was very interesting. Let me pull up real quick. Because they are going to have a re-release of I believe it's coming out sometime this month. Oh, it's November 7th. Okay, so on November 7th, they are going to have The Shining from the 1980s playing on a big Dolby IMAX screen. This is the first time it's ever been played in IMAX, which is kind of funny because, if a film as old as this, you'd think it'd been played several times over. But this is apparently the first time it's ever going to be played in IMAX, which is really cool. There is a bit of an Easter egg in Welcometoderry because we get a young version of, let's see, can we find his name? Benjamin Sherman, who plays the caretaker of the hotel, the black man that introduces the psychic abilities to the young child, which is very interesting. He is in the show as a much younger man working for the military. Trying to find the little boy that was also in this. They have it. Danny. Oh, no, he's creator, American former child actor. Yeah, Danny Lloyd. So yeah, really cool. I wonder if he's going to be at the red carpet or anything for this big premiere of The Shining, but it was really cool to see. They had Easter eggs for multiple Stephen King projects. They had a bus that was taking prisoners to the Shawshank prison. And then, of course, it's all taking place in the It universe, but these Stephen King stories are all kind of connected, which I thought was really fascinating, between Dick Harlan, who was the caretaker of the motel in The Shining, and then, of course, we've also got the It creature, the Shawshank bus, so that was really cool. New York Comic Con recently dropped X-Men 97 Season 2 trailer, and a Daredevil Born Again Season 2 trailer as well. So you guys can check those out. They got leaked online, but I believe Marvel now has officially released them. Crime 101 was a new trailer dropped for a movie with Chris Hemsworth, Halle Berry, 10 or 15 other big name actors. Comes out on Valentine's Day 2026. Not exactly sure what they expect to get out of this film. I know Chris Hemsworth has to keep on making movies, but this kind of seems like one of those movies that he needs a lot of help to keep alive. So that's very interesting. Wicked for Good is getting really great praise for people that have seen it already, the early screeners. They're claiming that Ariana Grande will earn an Oscar, so that's really interesting. Star Wars news. So I did want to do a bit of a Star Wars update. They announced there was going to be a Darth Plagueis TV series after The Acolyte, but unfortunately the fan base didn't feel like that was necessary to move on with. So that was very interesting what they talked about. Also, that page, Rogue Squadron is being turned into a series, a TV series, which that might be actually pretty good for them, because I don't think anyone was really interested in Rogue Squadron as a movie, unless they had, a really good story, which Starfighter basically is that. So it's a good thing that they decided to change it. It is interesting that we are on day 29 of the government shutdown, but yesterday was day 28, and they released accidentally these toxic monkeys, which I thought was very fascinating. They had hepatitis C, herpes, and COVID, and they mentioned these monkeys had escaped in Massachusetts or somewhere, Minnesota, and they were out trying to wrangle these monkeys. Is this the beginning of the rage virus? We'll see. I don't think anyone had escaped test monkeys out on their apocalypse bingo yet. But DC had an update about lanterns. They talked about how it's changing of hands for power. So potentially we might see Jon Stewart having to retire and give up the ring to Hal Jordan, or vice versa. I don't really know how well this story is going to go as far as the connected DC universe. I'm a real big fan of Green Lantern, so I'm hoping it's going to do well. The fact it's on Max, they have the money to produce a good story. But the fact that people are questioning whether Sinestro is involved and the Center and who's the villain, I think it's just a big old mess. But going on, we got to see the Marvel Vogue held a Halloween runway photo shoot at Universal Horror Nights, which is kind of funny that Marvel Vogue is having a photo shoot at another studio's lot, which I don't think that's happened in a while. But we got to see the cast of Black Panther show up in their costumes from the movie, which they were dressed up as for Halloween, which is really cool. Big supporter of that. We even got to see Teyana Taylor. We got to see Angela Bassett, and our first look at Damsonidris as potentially our new Black Panther. That's really shocking that Marvel is finally going ahead with plans to replace Chadwick Boseman after years after that second Black Panther film. Now they're finally ready, it seems like. I think this is very much to do with the success of Snowfall was very well for him. Idris, what's his name? Hold on, let me go back real quick. Damsonidris was very good in Snowfall. Good in F1, I've heard, which I still have to see that. And then now they want him to be our new Black Panther, which is a significant role for him to play in Marvel, because after we lost Chadwick Boseman, of course, the whole slate had to be changed. The Avengers films got out of order because they had to work in having Doomsday and Secret Wars come out before Black Panther 3. Now we're hearing Black Panther 3 is coming out after Secret Wars, so there is potential for more characters to show up besides X-Men, because we all thought that after Secret Wars they're diving right into X-Men, but actually it looks like they could be doing a few more side projects. So yeah, Otto Abiri was there supporting him, Lauren Carriar, Jeff Goldblum was in the crowd, as well as Kyle MacLachlan, which was really cool to see. Love my Agent Cooper showing up in anything, even in Fallout. A lot of people have speculated, are the people in the runway going to show up in the third movie? Because we're not really sure if that's going on, but it kind of looks like a soft launch. And if that is what's happening, I'm all down for it. I'm hoping that Teyana Taylor will get to be one of the warrior guards, which would be really cool to see. Going on now, talked about Daredevil Born Again getting a new trailer. Second season has been confirmed, even though the actor has not been to come forward with information on the show. He's been kind of saying this might be the end for me, or it might not be. I don't know if I get to do a crossover with Spider-Man. The way I feel about it, I think that Punisher was allowed to do a crossover with Spider-Man, but they don't want to do that with Daredevil, because they want to keep Daredevil on the TV side. And it sounds like Punisher might get his own special again, which would be awesome to see. It looks like you got Sadie Sink as his co-partner. So that's really cool as well to see in the comics, or from the comics. But yeah, going on to our last couple things, guys. Supergirl has been announced for reshoots, but I believe it's reshoots on a schedule, so it's not unexpected or anything like that. We also heard about how October 26th, they released a list of what are the top 15, 20 movies that have been playing throughout the month. I'll just go through that list real quick. We got number one movie was Chainsaw Man, which is very interesting to see that animation is taking over this year's slate of films. We had the Demon Slayer film, we had several other Nijai 2, and then now it's Chainsaw Man. It's number one film in the world, not just the country. After that, we got Black Phone 2 was the number 2 most grossing. This is for the week of the 26th, so just the last couple days. Number 3 is Regretting You from Paramount. I haven't seen this film, haven't even seen a trailer for it. Number 4 is Bruce Springsteen's Deliver Me From Nowhere, and that's actually tanking right now. It's not doing too well in the box office. A lot of people are saying it's because they focused on the Nebraska album, not his origins. The movie kind of starts off with, you're supposed to already know who the character is. So they did do it kind of differently for this biopic. Number 5, Tron Ares. So it's still in the list, still in the running. Number 6, Good Fortune, which is a new Keanu Reeves and Aziz Ansari film, which is interesting. So I was on 6. 7, Shelby Oaks, which is really cool to hear that Chris Druckmann YouTube is really killing it in this horror realm. Even if it's not making too much money, he gets his foot in the door to do more projects with bigger studios, because this was sort of a crowd-funded movie. So talked about 7. 8 is One Battle After Another. I've seen it. Really awesome film. Definitely highly recommend to check it out. Number 9, we've got Roof Man, which is the new Channing Tatum, and I believe it's Kirsten Dunst is in that with him. Kirsten Dunst, Channing Tatum, Peter Dinklage, whole lot of people. Then we've got 10, Truth and Treason. Haven't heard of this film either. 11, The Conjuring Last Rites. It's still playing in theaters. That's why it's making so much money. 12 Gabby's Gal House. So that's a very interesting horror film as well. But what do you guys think of all the movie news? Be sure to like the video, subscribe if you haven't already. Be sure to dress up for the holiday. I had my bit of outfit on for the stream, holiday spooky stream. Hope you guys liked all the information I talked about. Till next time, guys, have a good one, and ciao. Bye-bye.